Okay. So, thought for the day, it comes, lands on my desk. Okay, I want to talk about the real world. Yeah, the real world, it's not cracked up, it's not what it's cracked up to be, you know, it's not all that. Here at Homeboy Industries, we don't prepare for the real world, we challenge it. We challenge it. The opposite of the real world is not the unreal world. The opposite of the real world is the kingdom of God. In the real world, only the strong survive. It's the survival of the fittest. In the kingdom of God, it's the survival of the unfittest. In the real world, it's us against them. But in the kingdom of God, it's only about us. In the real world, there are good people and there are bad people, and in the kingdom of God, there's only God's people. In the real world, some are accepted and some are rejected. And in the kingdom of God, the rejected are really the most favored. In the kingdom of God, you stand in awe at what the poor have to carry, and in the real world, you stand in judgment at how they carry it. An example. There was a guy here named David who came looking for a job, and our job developers found him a feed job, or a prospect of a job in a warehouse. So he went there and he gets the application, and it says, "Have you been convicted of a felony in the last 7 years?" Well, he just finished a 10-year stretch in prison. So the answer to that question is no. So he wrote no. And so he's working in the warehouse for like 4 days, and on about the 4th day, he's standing next to the boss, and he's looking at these computers, and it's a whole shipping and receiving computerized system. And he turns to the boss, he says, I know how to do this. And the guy says, "You do?" He says, "Yeah." "Well, where'd you learn that?" Moment of truth. "When I was locked up." And the boss said, "Oh, well, show me what you know." And so David proceeded to hit it out of the park, knew exactly what to do. Well, the next day David came to work, and the boss handed him a piece of paper that was folded. And he knew that this was probably his marching orders. And the boss said, "No, open it." And it said, "Effective immediately, you will be getting $6 more an hour today than you were making yesterday. Welcome aboard." So, now I ask you this. Does that happen in the real world? No. It happened. But does that happen in the real world? No. It only happens in the kingdom of God. Homeboy does not prepare for the real world. It challenges it. So, Cece.